Hello, my dear children. It's time that we learn another very interesting chapter in history. And I'm sure you are going to enjoy this civilization. And it is one of our neighboring countries. And these days, we are not having very good terms with this country. It's China, and we will learn about its civilization. We will learn about the Chinese civilization. All right, let's start. So, this civilization arose around 1800 BCE. All right, I have already told you the full form of BCE is before Christ era. So, it arose around 1800 BCE. And as you know, that each and every civilization arose around river. I hope you remember. These things are not to forget. It will help you all your life. Like Egyptian civilization arose around Nile River. Mesopotamian civilization arose around Euphrates and Tigris rivers. Then Indus Valley civilization arose around Indus River. Similarly, the Chinese civilization arose around Huanghe River. It's also known as Yellow River. Okay? And you will astounded to know that it is also called sorrow of China. Sorrow means misery, something that brings sadness, okay, or distress. So, Huanghe or Yellow River is also known as Sorrow of China. And still, it was called Sorrow of China. Still, the ancient Chinese civilization depended heavily on this river. And it was known as Sorrow of China because quite often after the floods, it changed its course and also destroyed crops and irrigation canals. A major part of Chinese civilization was united under Shang dynasty. After that, Zhou dynasty came in 12th century and it ruled till 3rd century BCE. And it was Shang dynasty that invented writing down the history. And because of that only, we are very much able to know about the civilization that time. And also, it is very much similar to modern Chinese script. Like all other societies that civilizations that we learned before, in Chinese civilization also the king held the highest position in the society, then nobles who assisted the kings, and merchants, craftsmen, and farmers were next. Farmers formed the bulk of the population. At the bottom were the slaves. In ancient China, there was a massive demographic gap between farmers and kings and the nobles. The farmers were far more in population numbers and were made to work very hard for little money. The nobles lived in the palaces while the farmers survived in tiny huts. The nobles were highly regarded and lived with great riches. The society was structured so that people had different roles. Fathers were the head of the family, and the whole family had to obey him, even his grown up children. Men worked outdoors and women looked after their children at home. Poor women worked in fields and as servants. Having a large family of many children was good because they could work in the fields to help feed themselves. Boys usually followed their father's trade. Wealthy family educated their sons to become officials. Girls were expected to marry and then to move to another house. Girls from noble families could become the wives of an emperor, and they would have less freedom because most of their time would be spent in the emperor's palaces. And as I told you that they respected their elders, this respect continued even after people were dead. The Chinese would often pray to their ancestors and offer sacrifices to them. Respect of elders was also part of the religion. If we talk about religion, three major religions or philosophies were popular: Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. Lao Tzu is considered as the father of Taoism, and it was founded during Zhou dynasty in the 6th century. Taoism believes that people should be one with nature. That means the believers of Taoism believed in forces of nature. They did not believe in many rules and regulations or government, you say. Whereas the believers of Confucianism believed in good governance. They believed in strong organized government. Believers of Confucianism focused on treating others with respect, politeness, and fairness. Confucius thought that honor and morality were the important qualities. And Buddhism, you all must be aware of that it is based on the teachings of Buddha. People in ancient China also believed on oracles and priests. They believed priests to be in close touch with God. Whoever wanted to know about their future consulted them. And as I have already told you, people in ancient China respected their elders a lot, and even after their death, they used to respect them and also worshipped them. That's it for today, children. I hope you have understood everything that I have taught today. Tomorrow, we will continue with the same chapter. Thank you.